Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This should be an interesting one today. So, beside me here is a lapidary trim saw from a company called ToAuto. Now, they reached out to me to review this saw, and that's why it's here. It's here for review purposes. No money changed hands, but they did send this to me for free for this review. And boy, well, I have reviewed it. It's terrible. It's completely awful. It's so awful, I have a page full of notes so that we don't miss any terrible features. And if you want to find out what I don't like about it, why you should not buy it, why this company is ran by disingenuous liars, well, stay tuned. We're going to be covering all of those things here in this comprehensive video where we break down the smart, intelligent cutting equipment from ToAuto G8 Max. So if you're a regular viewer here on the channel, well, you know I don't make videos like this. I don't make them because I hate them. And normally, companies reach out, they're like, review our e-bike, review our thing. And you can't stop these companies, right? Like, it's blocking them doesn't work, reporting spam doesn't work, you know. There's two methods that I have found that does work, being really, really mean and asking for a ton of money. So to my fellow YouTube creators out there, if a company's harassing you for reviews or something, just be like, yeah, $10,000, or pick a number, and that usually kind of puts you on like a no email list. But this company, they reached out to me in February and they were like, hey, do you want to, we're making a new saw. And, you know, I bit. I was like, yeah, tell me more. What's up with the saw, you know? And after a bunch of back and forth, I'm like, you guys have no clue what you're doing. You don't understand lapidary. You don't understand the lapidary market. Your price points on these things is awful, and I can't imagine anybody's going to want these. After I said that in an email, they went away. They went away. I'm like, cool, didn't think much of it. Then they DM'd me on Instagram, and they were like, basically like, hey, we're releasing this thing. Do you want to review it? And I'll read to you what I wrote back. I said, you guys already reached out to me via email about your overpriced saw, and the communication was painful. It seems like you don't understand the lapidary market at all. To which they responded with Agate Ariel's YouTube video review on the saw. And they're like, oh yeah, you know, we've tested it out at some rock shows and everybody loves it. And I watched her review, and I think her review can very easily be summed up in this clip right here.
My overall thoughts on this machine is I love it. I really do. But if you're in the market for a cutting machine, a slab saw, I definitely would recommend this one.
So, she loves it. She loves this company. So I was like, you know what? Fine. You know what, guys? Yeah, you send me the saw. Send it. And they were like, sure. And wow. I guess so that's why I have this. That's what's going on here. I guess let's start. Let's start with the positives. The packaging. The packaging on this thing, top tier. Like an absolute there's like a 0% chance that I think this thing would ever show up broken. It's like a box within a box within a box within 10 boxes plus 9 million tons of foam and packaging and all of that stuff. So packaging, fantastic packaging, guys. You get a thumbs up from me on the packaging. So that's about where the positives end with this saw. All right. I guess you could also say the appearance, like the aesthetics of this saw, it is good. We have like pastel minty green, like, you know, it's clean looking, right? So I guess they get an A+ from the sleek, modern aesthetic appearance. That's a personal preference though, right? Like to each their own on that. So the 3D printed parts. All right, it comes with some 3D printed parts, which are absolutely an abomination. You know, first off, commercially available products should not be 3D printed. There should be none. Now, this is coming from somebody that has a 3D printer. I have one right over there. I have a Bamboo Labs P2S with like hundreds of hours of prints on it. And I can print something nicer on that machine than this. So 2 3D printed parts, the little back screen and then the front spray shield. The size, right? 8 inches. You're going to have a limited availability when it comes to blades. You just are. The arbor on it is 25 millimeters, which is also going to limit you. You know, they even say in their manuals that like they intend for you to buy blades from them. Now, is there other 25 millimeter arbored blades out there? Yeah, probably. I haven't really spent a whole lot of time looking. I mean, 25 millimeters, that's like 9.8 inches or whatever, 9.86 inches or something. So we would typically have 1 inch arbors, half, you know, we'd use Imperial here in America. So you're selling this thing to people and you want to try to like paint them into a marketplace, right? On my second cut on the saw, I felt like I was able to bog down the motor some. So we're going to cut a piece of chalcedony from the Yellowstone River agate. We're actually under the overall height of the blade, and we'll run it at 1750 RPM and see if it can just go straight through these. These are generally pretty tough to cut. I'm curious, so we will also set a timer. Not the worst cut for being by hand. Not the best cut. That could be me, that could be the blade. But time-wise, I would say that's similar to what you'd get out of most other saws. I'm not a fan of it bogging down like that. It kind of might be probably the max that I would cut with this. Okay, doing some more cutting on this thing. Let me show you a problem that I learned firsthand when developing the stainless steel top for the High-Tech Diamond 10-inch flat lap. I make a stainless steel top for that, and that is this. You see that? If you have a slot and the water kind of, I don't know, it like creates a tension in it. Keep in mind, there's nothing underneath these, right? This is just the top. What will happen is like the water creates almost like a surface tension, I guess subsurface tension, some tension in a thick, narrow slot, and the water doesn't drain well. It does not drain well, right? Like it just pools up, you know? So this just goes to show, if you ask me, that they did not actually cut any rocks, because there's no way you would put narrow slots in a deep or in a relatively thick steel top. It's not smooth on the inside of these. You can tell it was cut on a fiber laser because there's laser slag in the slot. So yeah, just another example of what not to do when manufacturing a saw. Water in the slots, right? Imagine you have a rock. The water won't drain because there's water stuck, just kind of hanging out. And if we poke it with something, it's still there. That's why you don't make things like that. Oh, there we go. I broke it there. So stupid. The more I use this thing, well, you can probably guess what my opinion is. I would say I'm decently strong. To get this tabletop out requires a tremendous amount of like finger strength to give you this one hook back here to try to pull this thing out. And you gotta like kind of push on this lip while prying to try to, it's so small, to try to get this thing out because it's such a tight fit with this gasket. Then we get into the very controls of this thing, which is the LCD unit. Now the LCD screen is incredibly dim, okay? And we have 2 ports on the back of this thing, and it's connected through USB-C. One is for your firmware updates. The other one is for running the actual unit. Now, can I get a show of hands here on the video? Who wants to have to update firmware for controllers for your lapidary saws? I have many machines out here. At no point have I ever been like, man, I sure would love to download a firmware update. Said no one ever. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. It's dim. This thing, even on the back of it, you'll see me running this thing with in a plastic bag because it is not waterproof and it's not dust proof. So we have this thing with this short little USB cord, and it's not waterproof and it's not dust proof. There's nowhere for the thing to go, so it's just kind of over here floating, right? And you're like, what is even going on with this? This is basically a DC motor controller, and it's going to break. It's 110% gonna break on you. The RPMs. So this does have RPM control. I have the digital tachometer. Got a little reflective sticky bit on the blade tip, and we're gonna fire this thing up. We're at 1750 RPM because that's kind of the speed that we cut at. Let's see what we get here. $2,100, almost 2,200. Not the best. I trust my tachometer, and it's not accurate. You set it at 1750 RPM, and it's not 1750 RPM. You know, it's faster. So whatever calibrations or whatever is going on with this, it's not great. Not great at all. The drains. Let's get into the subject of the drains. That's the bucket I was draining into. The valve is open. And you can see we have a little bit of a problem here. We could go a little bit lower, but there's still always going to be water in this. Part of the problem is this is just not properly designed. So you have water and it's kind of backing up in this tube because it's so, well, it doesn't want to smoothly drain out, you know. There's not a whole lot you can do about this other than have it maybe hang over the edge of a table or drain, drill a hole and then have it drain through. That's the thing. Like, stuff needs, you have to actually use the machine, understand design for manufacturing, and make something good and then test it and iterate over time. This is just a half-baked attempt. I'm setting up the vise here, and this elaborate thing bolts onto the tabletop. Down here at the bottom, there's a bunch of different pieces of hardware. Maybe that's why they went with such a thick tabletop. But this does not inspire confidence. So everything's tight, and there's these stop pieces of hardware for stopping it. And like, look at this play. So like, you can push smoothly, but you can also bind it and not be able to push it at all. So not well thought out. It seems overly engineered and janky, like they didn't use it even once. And these are the double vices for clamping rocks. So like you could have a rock that spans it, I guess, and cut it in half, or have one and try to cut. Let's put this on the saw, see what it's like. With the vise being so elevated, it only allows you to cut the smallest of rocks. Like, man, I don't even know. You're like inch by inch, like, a 1-inch square at best. So this is worse than I thought. You can see that right there. If you have these bolts extended all the way, they go beyond the tabletop, which means it's hitting the splash shield. But you can't cut anything that big anyways, maybe like 1-inch square, because of, well, you have this connector here, so you can't actually go utilize the whole depth of the blade. So, and that is junk. Junk. It took me forever to find something that I could actually cut in this that I think will be the appropriate size. And you're like, I mean, I couldn't even offset cut it and use both both jaws because of how awkward this thing is. So, yeah, I mean, this should do fine. This should do fine, I think. That is not a straight cut. That's very obviously, right? Wow. That's worse than what I thought it was going to be. Images are for reference only. Actual product shall prevail. This vice did not prevail. Prices. So my understanding is that this is going to be about $1,000. Probably a little bit more. If I'm being honest, probably more. Maybe in the 1,100 range. Is it worth it? Absolutely not. Then we get into the manuals, right? You see this and you're like, oh wow, man, cool. Like, yeah, manual. And it there's so many mistakes in this and like word salad that you're just kind of like, what? Like, it really kind of is very surprising. They keep calling this an intelligent communication automatic matching system with this. And you're just like, dude, like, does this interest you? Does it interest anybody? I can't imagine anybody is interested in this stuff. It's all a bunch of gobbledygook English that's been translated and very poorly written. Like, they don't know the proper names for stuff or like their own components. So that about covers some of the things that I dislike about this after cutting on it a bunch. They are currently doing a pre-Kickstarter, which we're going to go look at now. And you'll see how disingenuous they are, how they manipulate and lie to try to get you to sign up to buy one of these. So let's head in. We're going to look at the computer real quick, and you'll see what's what. So what you're looking at here is their pre-Kickstarter. Now, nearly everything that you're looking at is a combination of AI and like real life. And it looks so good. It looks so good. But yeah, it is not real. And I'll show you what we're looking at here. So even if we just kind of get in here, first off, the screen's not that bright. It's like, this is all just like computer generated graphics. None of this is legit. Is this even going to be, like, they show this here with these clear, spray protectors, and like, it faded into an AI shop. Look, they're doing the whole black and white infomercial, having a tough time with things. Oh, she's so frustrated. And then, oh, like, stop fighting your tools. This is all just like marketing, like gimmickry, right? It's not good. So we have more kind of just stuff. See, you can see here, that's not how that looks. And even in their own manual, they show it with like low quality 3D prints. So here's a lie. Other cutters, no safety protections, rough cutting surface, no adjustable speed, short blade lifespan, multiple safety protections, smooth, clean. Oh, that sounds really good. Huh, funny thing. What do you think this saw is right here? What do you think that is? Well, let me show you what that is. That's this saw right here. That's this saw. They used that image. They used that image of the high-tech saw right here. And this is a variable speed. That is a variable speed saw. So they're just like flat out deceiving and lying. Keep moving on here. Some of this stuff looks really odd. It looks really odd. Okay, how about this? Look at this guy here. Cutting a rock. You're like, oh yeah, he's cutting a rock. Oh wait, he kissed it. He kissed the rock. That's really good AI. And you might be wondering, well, how do you know it's AI, Jared? How do you know? Let me show you. It's real simple. We'll just keep coming down here. The one for minerals, one for metal, right? So stupid. Okay. We're getting into it. Look at some of this stuff. Anything seem off to you? Should start to seem kind of off. Let's see. We got an emergency quick stop. A hydraulic breaker. Do you mean an electric breaker? Because it's an electric breaker, no hydraulics going on here. This. Look at this. So that right there says Lapidary Journal Jewelry Artist. Lapidary Journal Jewelry Artist. You can clearly see that right there. Now, in this photo, what does that say? It no longer says Lapidary Journal Jewelry Artist. It says blah, 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 artist. Rock and blah. Why is these are like mirrored things? I have all of the lapidary journals, all of them. And this does not appear in anything. So this is all fake made up stuff. You know, I'll give it to him. It does look pretty good, but you start to like look at it and you're like, wait, you have a purple jar teetering on the edge of a 2x4. A 2x4 screwed into cinder blocks. You're just like, none of it, just what, like a little rock with angel wings? You know, like you start to critically examine these things and you're like, dude, this company, like they don't know what they're doing. It's just shocking to me to see people like bite on this and be like, this is the thing, right? Like lying about competition, using AI, everything's fake, everything's made up. Well, isn't that disappointing? Can you imagine having so much money that you can produce a product like this and you drop the ball on the spray guards, the tabletop, the arbor size, the blade size, the price point, the controller, the drains. You produced it without even turning it on and actually cutting rocks. And you used AI to generate fake lapidary shops to cut fake rocks, and you did it incredibly poorly. You should be ashamed of yourself. You lied about high-tech diamond. You could have picked another saw, right? But you're trying to pick one without a speed control. Like, what do you almost can't make it up because it's so completely stupid. The only thing more stupid than that would probably be my fellow content creators here on YouTube. In the rockhounding world, a lot of people get a lot of free junk. They get a lot of free junk, and you guys hold their feet to the fire in the comments, and usually the response will be like, well, when you're making a big purchase, you need to be doing your research. What? Multiple people have done that. I've seen that. Multiple creators here saying that exact same thing. So it is such an embarrassing cop-out to make a glowing review about a product you don't know anything about, push that product on the viewers and then be like, you need to do your research. Are you stupid? What do you think the video is? The video is part of the research. Like if you have the company, and then you have consumers, let's say like your rockhounding friend or your people at your rock club, you have internet posts and YouTube videos on something. So to say like, it's just so dumb because the video is some of the research that people are trying to do. They're trying to make an informed decision, right? So maybe stop shilling, stop like pimping out products, stop being like, oh yeah, but my affiliates, like screw your affiliates, screw your e-bikes and your 10%. Like you really want to sell people out. Like you should be ashamed of yourself. That said, let's open this thing up, void the non-existent warranty that they say it has, and see what's going on under the hood. The thing is, all of this stuff, all this lapidary stuff is so expensive, and a lot of people do not have gigantic infinite budgets for this stuff. So to push something like this on your viewers is, oh, that's got a weird smell. Come on in. There you go. You got a nice view of the interior here. Let's talk about it because when your saw doesn't turn on, you're going to have a lot of fun components to play around with. So we have our breaker, little 10 amp breaker. We have the power switch down here. So DC motor, USB, power supply right here. We have a DC motor controller here with a heat sink. There's a fan, and then we have our e-stop button, and then we have our power switch. So, wow, yeah, you're like, why? That is just, why? Why build a lapidary saw like this? I don't want to deal with this stuff. I don't like DC. I want AC. I want simple. I want simple. But these are mostly components that you could find. Surplus Center, AliExpress, definitely you could buy all of this stuff. I mean, they did a relatively clean job putting it together, so I guess I'll give them props for that. Not so much with the securing wires with tape over here. That's a little janky. It's like some masking tape. You could just put the proper length of wires in. Crazy concept. Let's see what's going on under this little housing. When I first saw this, just like in the photos, I was thinking that this was like an actual little arbor housing, and I now know that it is not that. It's a piece of plastic. A very gross piece of plastic. And then right here you have, that's just the housing, right? So just the piece of rubber there. And you're just kind of direct drive, right? So you can see how this works. Motor, plastic housing, right? And these are, it's a coupler, right? So that's all that is. Check those out, slide this off. Now you have a stainless steel coupler. So this, I guess it's just a extra insurance, right? Like, I guess that's what that is. Not the design I would go with. Seems how your only thing preventing water from getting into this housing with all these electronics is this little piece of rubber. Yeah. Not great, not great. That is my case for this saw. I don't think it's very good. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't recommend you buy it. Now, maybe you disagree. Maybe you saw this and you're like, this is definitely the saw for me. You love it. Do me one favor. Do not purchase a saw like this, or really any big lapidary purchase, do not use PayPal. Do not use a wire transfer, Lotus Step wire transfer. No, do not do that. Do not use a debit card. Use a real credit card, the type of credit card you'd make a payment on. Don't pick up a debt, right? Don't run it, don't let it collect interest. If you pay any other way, you do not have the same buying protections that you would get if you paid with a credit card. So use a real credit card, pay it off at the end of the month, don't let it accrue interest, and that way you can have some protection when buying very expensive lapidary equipment. So, to all my fellow content creators out there, keep hucking garbage products, and maybe you will be featured here on the Currently Rockhounding Show. So keep it up. Hopefully that 10% will be worth it for you in the future. All right, everybody. Yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Is a ToAuto saw the saw for you? And I guess I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I might strip components out of it, make it into something better. It might sit on a shelf. I don't exactly know. Yeah, let me know. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here on the channel, and I will catch you in the next video.